Hey, Mr. B.
Hello.
So let's say a client's case is refused.
Yeah.
Under what circumstances is it worth going into an appeal process?
That's a better question than you would imagine. The reason for that is because a lot of times people come to me and say, we went into an appeal after the case was refused. And you look at the documentation, you look at what happened there, and it is complete rubbish. There is no point to have gone into the appeal. So when you're looking at the application that has been refused, look at the points on which they have been refused under the law that you applied for. So if you do not meet the financial requirements, for example, it's a spouse visa application, right? You've got an application done on the basis of marriage to a British national. You do your application, the Home Office refuses the application saying that you do not meet the financial requirements for X, Y, Z reasons. You look at your bank statements and they are right. If you can see that they are right, you do not meet the financial requirements, then what's the point of going into an appeal? The better thing to do then in those circumstances would be to go back, meet the financial requirements, and then do a new application. Now, sometimes there could be something which is a little bit deeper in that case. So, for example, the same scenario, you don't meet the financial requirements, but there are children involved. There are special needs of children involved. There may be exceptional circumstances. There may be something compassionate in those facts of the case. So, if that were to happen, then you can still go in for an appeal. Remember, whenever a case is decided in the UK, in the appeal courts or by the Home Office, there will always be a decision on the rules, and then there will always be a decision on the human rights aspect. So if you're not able to succeed on the rules, you can still win on the human rights aspect if the circumstances permit. This is where the integrity and the correct advice of the lawyer will come in. Is he telling you just to go into an appeal because they want to make money, which is a horrible thing to say? Or is there really a chance that you can go in and win that? Now, I get asked this question till I'm sick in the head every single day. What is the percentage chance of success? What is the percentage of these cases? What is the ratio of success in these cases? Please understand, every case is different. You could have a case where somebody is suffering from stage 4 cancer, and you could have another case where there is nothing like that, and you're just saying, oh, it's inconvenient for me to go back. So those two cases will be completely different, and their merits will be completely different. The way they handled in court will be completely different. So there can never be any percentages given to you. The way we look at it is which case is more likely than not to succeed. If I see in a case the financial requirements are met, everything is met, they're saying that we don't accept that the relationship is genuine. On what grounds? Whatever reasons they have given, you then address those grounds. You prepare evidence according to that particular point. The other thing I also want to say for the appeals, always remember, sometimes the Home Office will give you one reason for refusal. That does not mean that you go into an appeal and only argue that one reason or give evidence only for that one reason. I always, as a practice, I always go into court with every part of that immigration rule covered with my evidence and my arguments. Why? Because the judge can turn around at any time and say, well, it's not in the refusal letter, but I need to be satisfied as to all the points in this matter. Or the Home Office can turn around and the Home Office representative in court can say, well, I haven't seen evidence of the Article 8 relationship or the financial requirement that you're talking about or the English language test or this and that. And they could ask for anything. If they do and you don't have it there or it's not part of the appeal bundle, it's a responsibility that comes down to you as the appellant. So you've obviously got me started on a topic that I absolutely love. Appeals, I've been dealing with these in the immigration courts for the past 22 years now. And I know how worried people can be. And I know how it looks when people go into court and say, oh, well, the lawyer just came in for an hour and that was it. And they are charging this much money. But you need to understand how much effort goes into it, how much experience and expertise goes into your appeal bundles. People come and ask me sometimes, what is the cheapest you can do? The cheapest is not going to be the best for you in your situation. Understand, when we give you quotation, it depends on the expertise and the time that is going to be spent on it. If I'm just going to tell my junior to just put something together, copy paste from another case and do it, even £500 would be a great profit at that time because we spent 10 minutes copy pasting on it. That's not how we do it. And that's not how it should be done. Every case deserves its own respect. If the application has been refused, look at the points on which they have been refused, look at the evidence that was submitted, and then deal with each point in turn, one by one, with the correct evidence and the correct arguments. That is where your skeleton arguments come in, which will deal with all the points that are raised in the refusal letter, all the refusal points that have been raised with regards to the evidence, and how you're comparing the two and compiling the two to make sure that you can meet the requirements. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess that's why you charge appeal fees separately.
Of course, you
As
have
and when
to.
they arise.
Of course. I mean, yesterday we were talking about it, weren't we? That somebody put in one of our comments that, oh, do I have to pay separately after the application fee I've paid, and do I have to pay separately if we go into an appeal? It's like, you know, what example can I give? It's number one, it's not a all-you-can-eat buffet that you just pay one amount and then you go in and then you say, well, whatever happens in this case, you are just going to do it in one fee. It cannot work like that. It's like you fill up a car tank. It will have certain mileage that it can do. It will not go beyond that. So it's the same sort of thing. You pay for an application, you paid for the application. If there is then a judicial review to be done or a pre-action protocol process to be done or go into an appeal, all of those are chargeable separately.
They have their own structures as...
Absolutely. They will have their own structures, they will have their own requirements, they'll have their own documentation, they will have their own level of expertise. Somebody who's doing an application will not automatically be suitable to do an appeal. That's a whole world apart.
Yeah.
So when I prepare a case, I prepare a case as a solicitor.
Yeah.
When I go to court, I prepare the case as a barrister. So it's a completely different thing. And the expertise, the mindset that goes into it is completely different. For people, when I'm preparing them for their appeal hearings, I always tell them, for you, this might sound like I'm telling you a story. It's not telling you a story. Everything that I'm telling you is from your facts, how the law applies to your facts, and how you're supposed to present it. Now, if you go to court and you don't understand the law that you're arguing for your case, how are you going to answer questions? Because even with my experience of 22, 23 years in courts, I can never tell you question number 1 is this and question number 5 is this and question number 7 is this. Nobody can tell you that.
No, I completely agree. I think this is why people need to stay away from those solicitors who are like, pay once and you'll have me for the rest of your life.
I don't understand that. That scares me. That scares me when somebody says, oh, this is all inclusive. You're not going on a holiday where you get your drinks and your dinner and your breakfast and everything all inclusive. This is not that. You are going to a professional. And if you're going to the right kind of professional and they're going to put the right kind of effort in there, they will be charging you separately every step of the way. That is how things work. You get these, buy one, get one free. Yeah, fine. When you're going to go get shoe polish and you get one free for that, that's a great deal. That does not work with applications and appeals.
I completely agree. Thanks for your time, Mr. B.
Anytime.